So this is the reflective practitioner video blog for the beginning of the final quarter of Practicum. And so as I reflect on my experience as a whole, I feel very blessed and grateful to have had such great exposure. I am currently still interning at acute rehabilitation at my local hospital. And so as I think about it as a whole, I feel like that I have gotten so much exposure to different type of patients. I typically work with the elderly, and I was able to work with young adults, mid-age adults, and as well as the elderly. I think about how I was able to do thorough biopsychosocials on a daily basis, documentation. I was part of a multidisciplinary meetings on a weekly basis, and we discussed patients there. And so just the amount of exposure that I've gotten has been just amazing, working alongside nurses, doctors, physical therapists, occupational therapists, speech therapists, recreational therapist. It has been a really just good overall practicum. I was able to learn from acute rehabilitation social worker that has been there for more than 14 years. She recently resigned and took another job, but I feel really grateful for the exposure that I've gotten, and just the way I was able to just take in all of her knowledge, and she was just so well grounded, and I feel so grateful. One of the most impactful situations that I was in as a social worker at acute rehabilitation was that I was able to do a Columbia screen on suicide, the long form. I typically don't have exposure to suicidal patients, and so I was able to work alongside that social worker and kind of got first seat on how to help a patient through suicidal ideation, and how a hospital kind of enforces and helps keep that patient safe. And so I think that was a very big experience that I don't think a lot of interns get the opportunity to do. And so I was able to do biopsychosocials on a daily basis with patients of all ages, different life-altering conditions, and I just feel so overall grateful for the opportunity. I feel like I have grown as a advanced practitioner is my confidence. I think in the beginning, I have exposure in the social work field as a bachelor's prepared social worker in the hospital for Humana. But I feel like my confidence and the way I walked in and I'm able to conduct biopsychosocials and not being like just question after question, just more of a conversation type, and getting to know my patient a lot better. I think I have grown a lot in that. I think in the beginning I didn't know how to conduct one and how it kind of flowed just easily. It was more like, okay, where were you born? Where both of your parents, raised you, and it's more now like I'm able to go into the room and just like have a conversation with the patient, as I'm asking the questions that I need to in order to conduct a thorough biopsychosocial. This practicum, I kind of want to continue on with my confidence and being able to document a little bit better and clearer and more politically correct. In the hospital setting, you kind of don't want to write everything. The way you want to document has to be kind of particular, and I still want to grow in that. I'm still learning. And so I think that evaluations help provide quality of service to patients, and basically tracking how they're doing. Like in acute rehabilitation, a big thing is the mood assessment, kind of knowing where your patient is, because if they're experiencing anxiety or sadness, that kind of can interfere with their therapy process. So making sure that we are doing, our biopsychosocial, the mood assessment, to make sure that, the patient is, we're tackling issues that can help the patient overcome their sadness or anxiety, or provide them with some confidence that things will get better. They're going to have to do things a little bit different, but they're at the best place to receive rehabilitation. I think that really improves patients' spirits and overall treatment when they're working with therapy, and continue with those emotional supports on a weekly basis that we typically do at acute rehab. And so the way our rehabilitation does evaluations is by surveys. At the end of every patient's stay, the week of discharge, we do a survey, and we kind of ask them how was their care provided by their nursing, from not so satisfied to very satisfied, from the nursing staff, the doctor staff, and the therapist staff. And then at the end, it's just general, like, how can we improve rehab therapy? So that is what I'm trying to do this semester, and I want to just finish off strong. Like I have been. It's just been really hard with the new social worker and trying to adapt to her style and her learning style. So I want to finish off strong, like I have been these last 4 quarters. But it's been a challenge, especially working full-time. So I work full-time 4 days a week at my regular job. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, I work at my local hospital 10-hour shifts. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I am at acute rehab. So we're almost at the home stretch. And so I want to finish off strong. Thank you so much.